Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. I'm your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDontWorkHereLady. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. This story was called, Get my son's who has cancer's game account back. This happened a few months after I left my job at a mobile game company. I got a random Facebook friend request from a lady, and here's what happened. Hello? Yes, hello, what's up? Are you working at mobile game company? I used to. Why? Did you just add me to ask that? Random. Yes, random. Why are you asking? Cause people usually don't add someone unless they know each other? Okay, I'm sorry, I'll remove you. Okay. My account name was banned. Can you help me? Oh, now I get why you added me. I used to work on the community side, so I don't do anything technical. I wouldn't even know how to do that. I deleted the game off my phone the moment I left the company because, honestly, the game is kinda boring. Honestly, just forget about the game and enjoy other, more fun stuff. I paid more than $1,000 on my account. They banned me just because I jailbroke my phone. I didn't hack the game. Again, I don't work for them, nor do I handle that side, so I can't help you. First of all, my son is a cancer patient, and he's being taken care of in the hospital, and he spends his time playing this game, and he is now completely frustrated about his account. This message is related to Twitter name. My son, it was stolen some time ago. His Twitter account was stolen, and then the hacker used it to get into the game account and played it. I swear that my son didn't hack or use any hack in the game. He's just playing it on an iPhone 10. And if you want any proof, I am ready to prove. Just please help him to be happy. The account ID is account ID. Thanks for your efforts. Regards. Nope. Blocked. Honestly, I could have messed with her to see what kind of nonsense she would be saying, but I didn't really want to prolong it. Okay, come on, not cool. Extorting cancer patients to get your account back? That's kind of selfish. This story was called, Wearing Red is an Automatic Bullseye. So, I've been reading a bunch of these and remembered an incident at Target near me not long after I moved here a few years ago. A little context. I work for a software company in the South. We mostly deal with various energy companies and emergency services and do training for them, help them when they have an emergency, and basically try to make it so they don't have to think about paperwork as much because the software takes care of a lot of it. The biggest takeaway from this though is that our uniform is a red polo or button down with the company name, with slacks or jeans and either boots or nice shoes, depending on if we are in the office or out in the field. I should also state that before I started working here, I worked a lot of retail jobs, along with doing a 4-year military stint and going to college. I'm now in my mid-30s. Because of all the retail jobs though, I know how crappy they can be. So, I've caught myself putting away things that fell off shelves and pegs, walking carts that are left in parking spaces all the way to the corrals or back to the store, helping people lift things or get things from shelves since I'm tall. I'm also heavyset, but I digress. Here's the story. About 5 to 6 months after I had moved from one state to another because I had landed this job. Yay! 1,700-mile drive. I was at a Target looking for some random stuff after work. I remember I needed a new pillow and wanted to see if they had nicer sheets and a comforter, but I don't remember everything I was looking for. I do remember on my way in, I had parked in a spot with a few carts left outside of corrals by lazy people. So I grabbed about 5 of them and pushed them into the store because they could have scratched my car. Seriously, people, don't just leave your cart out in a parking spot. I then took one and walked around the store looking at leftover Valentine's candy, looking at some art supplies, etc., putting away some carelessly dropped items that belonged on pegs if I saw them. As I passed by one aisle, a nice old lady was trying to grab something from an upper shelf and couldn't quite reach. So I grabbed it and put it in her cart for her. She thanked me and I said it was no problem and to have a nice day. Then I continued on with my empty cart. Yeah, literally had nothing so far. I was nearing the bedding aisle when from behind I heard the dreaded sound. I'm going to be paraphrasing with maybe a little embellishment, but the exchange went something like this. Hey you! I turned around to see a woman of 50-ish with a typical Karen haircut, olean brown with no highlights, wearing blue sweatpants and a darker blue sweatshirt. Yes? I've been chasing you around the store for an hour. I need you to help me now. I don't know how she got an hour, but I had only been there for 20 to 30 minutes. Huh? I need your help. Are you deaf and dumb? God, Target employees are flipping idiots. I don't work. Come on, hurry up. At this point, I'm just staring at her, trying to figure out how this is going to play out. I dealt with Karens before, but I had worked for the business they were berating me at. Hey, chunky boy, let's go! I don't work here, lady. Then why are you wearing the flippin' shirt? I had realized the confusion, so I chuckled. Oh yeah, I work for company name. I guess our shirts are the same. Whatever, hurry up and help me, I'll get you fired. Now, I hate it when people cut me off, and that was twice she had done it. At this point, all the years of retail and the people who were terrible customers started flowing through my head, and I was getting annoyed and quickly getting urinated. Let's go, obese donkey! And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That's when I started fully yelling in my big, booming voice. I'm going to omit the crazy amount of F-bombs I dropped because I used my sailor tongue to its fullest. Listen here, bench! I don't freaking work here! Just because I'm wearing a red shirt doesn't mean I work here. And if you'd close your mouth and open your ears, you might have actually heard me say that twice already. I'm betting you're one of those floozies who complains that every store you go to has crappy customer service. But I can tell you the reason why you get crappy customer service. It's because you are a crude name for a female reproductive part, and no one wants to be around you. You look like the kind of dookie stain that hasn't done a bit of work in her life other than opening her mouth and scarfing down some freaking bratwurst. So, how about you get a personality other than being a wino bimbo, and instead of demanding that everyone bow down to your whim, you would say a simple, please! Karen was speechless. I ended my rant with the final, fornication under consent to the king, you! And a middle finger as I left my cart where it was and walked out of the store. I went home after that and went to Wally Mart the next day and found some cheap black sheets and even cheaper build-a-furniture. It wasn't until October that I set foot in that Target again, and luckily no one recognized me. Alright y'all, that story was kind of nar. I applaud our Redditor, our hero, our protagonist, whatever you want to call him, for standing up to that evil woman. Gee, I bet Karen couldn't wait to tell her coven about that. Alrighty boyos, this story was called Gym Teacher Mistakes My Mom, a Staff Member, as a Student. My family lives in a city in Wisconsin, a pretty nice city with fairly good schools, never really have too big of problems. My mom had started working in the school district while I was in middle school. She works with kids with disabilities and she has experience, being that my brother has severe autism. She first worked at the elementary school before working at one of the middle schools, before finally moving to the high school, despite her not wanting to. My mom does not look her age. She's turning 39 in a few weeks. Around the time of the story, she was probably around 36. Her height reaches into the early 5-foot range, with two of her kids towering over her, and her daughter just about to be taller as well. At the time, her hair was cut rather short, like just past the ears I'd say. She wears contacts due to her vision. She dresses with a lot of geeky material, with shirts ranging from Star Wars all the way to the Labyrinth. Typically, she looks quite like a normal high school student, even today. On to the story. This happened during her first year working at the high school, and since I wasn't there myself, I'm only roughly explaining what happened. On this day in particular, one of her contacts had broken, and seeing how bad her vision would be without them, she had to wear her glasses to work, despite the fact that she hates doing this. As well as this, she wore a black Labyrinth shirt. It was basically the poster of the movie plastered onto his shirt, which was partially covered up by a black open-up cotton shirt with long sleeves. She had dark, tight jeans on with just some normal shoes. The only way to tell that she worked there was the lanyard with her ID on it, hanging from her neck. It was just after lunch, if I recall, and my mom was tasked to walk with one of the kids she looks after. I don't recall what this kid had, but he loved to talk about movies with my mom constantly. He would have headphones on while walking and would be looking at his Chromebook the whole time. My mom and the boy were walking down the hall near the high school's upper gym. She did this from time to time while kids were in classes so he could get around and move, as he did not like doing much work. While walking, they were far down the hall about to turn a corner when out of nowhere, someone had yelled at them down the hall. "Hey, get back to class!" Mom, thinking this teacher was yelling at some other student wandering the halls, continued walking slowly with the kid. "Don't make me have to write you up for wandering the halls now!" Mom turns around to look towards the talking. She sees gym teacher standing at the doors of the upper gym, staring dead at her. Gym teacher was known for being quite annoying, to say the least. I had her once in my last year. Thankfully, I got on her good side for the most part. She's in her late 40s to early 50s, usually wears thin sweatshirts with tight pants and athletic shoes. Her hair is cut into a Beatles style, dark like the Beatles' hair as well. She stood quite a few inches taller than Mom, but not by too much. Mom looks around, confused at first. "Don't just stand there all dumbfounded like that. Get to class!" She purposefully exaggerated the last few words. Mom has been mistaken for a student on multiple occasions, but only when she's usually wandering the halls alone, not when she's with a kid. "Oh, sorry, I'm walking with Frank here. He likes it when the halls are quiet." "He can walk with the teacher. You don't need to babysit him when you have classes to go to." Mom is still a bit confused, but realizing the situation. "Sorry, but you're mistaken. I'm a staff member here." She goes to show her ID. "Nice try. Come to the office so I can write you up." At this point, the teacher turns to start walking into the gym. Mom doesn't listen and continues walking. This was apparently not the right move to make. "Don't you dare walk away from me! You come here now so I can write you up!" At this point, gym teacher started storming over to Mom, to which Mom quickly turns around and flashes her ID to the gym teacher. "Ma'am, I work here." Gym teacher stopped a few inches from the ID and stares at it for a moment, before going pure white. "You should be careful how you dress. People are gonna mistake you for a student." "Right. I have to get back to work now. Maybe you should too." At this point, gym teacher walked back to the gym doors, closing them fairly loudly behind her. Frank had continued walking ahead of Mom, so she quickly caught up to him and kept on with her day. My mom and I had quite a good laugh on the drive home from school. My mom still works at the high school today and has gotten to know quite a lot of teachers there. She's only had a few encounters with gym teachers since, and it seems gym teacher didn't even remember seeing her that day, or just refuses to acknowledge she mistook a staff member for a student. Either way, win for my mom. That was a cute, innocent little story there. It must be nice knowing your mom looks like a high school student because, hey, that's what you're gonna look like when you're older. Or she's got a really ugly dad to keep things balanced. This story was called "Got Assaulted at a Grocery Store for Wearing a Manager Costume." I was shopping at a store that rhymes with strafe this weekend on the way home from a really awesome date night with my fiancé. So I was dressed pretty nicely, black jacket, black skirt, and heels. Fiancé and I usually go our separate ways in the store to achieve the best efficiency of finishing our lists as fast as possible. So I was alone when this interaction started. An older Karen, probably around 60, was putting around the soup aisle and hemming and hawing at the sale, 10 for 10. And I guess she saw me with my cart putting something back on the shelf. She cleared her throat a few times and stomped around, but obviously I was just minding my own business. "Hey, lady!" I was just deciding between Strafesay brand mac and cheese or Kraft. "Hey, you, manager, excuse me, hey!" I finally acknowledge her. "Oh, me? I'm not a manager. Did you need some help or something?" "Well, obviously you're a manager. Why else would you be dressed like that? What do these soups count for the 10 for 10? I'm not a manager. I don't work here and I don't know. Probably the ones that are directly labeled in the sign that says 10 for 10? What the nether is your problem?" "You're the one yelling at me." Karen stomped over, wagging her finger at me like I was a child, yelling at me about customer service, how I should do my job and help her choose her soups, and all that's wrong with the youth today. Something also along the lines of me getting fired for incompetence. I don't know. I zoned out. "Ma'am, if you need help, please go up to one of the cashiers that work here and ask them. I'm here buying food, like you." "Stop lying. Do you think I'm stupid? You're a flippin' manager here. You're wearing the costume. You think you could just..." "Okay, listen, Then Karen smacks my hand, making me drop the box of mac and cheese I was holding. "Don't flippin' interrupt me." "What the heck, lady? You just hit me." "Yeah, I did. You interrupted me." "Seriously, what the heck?" At this point, my fiance heard my yelling and zoomed over. He was also dressed nicely, button up, black slacks, the works. "What's happening, babe? You alright?" "She just slapped my hand because she's too thick to hear me when I say I don't work here." "What?"
"You need to fire this bimbo. She won't do her job."
"Do you really think everyone dressed remotely nice is a manager?" Crickets.
"Well, I know she is. She was putting back that jar earlier."
"Because I didn't want to buy it, you incompetent donkey."
"You can't talk to me that way."
"Babe, grab an actual manager, please. I want to call the cops on this crazy bench."
"I'm a paying customer."
"So are we!" She stepped back in shock that we both yelled at her, and fiance waved over some poor unsuspecting person. The actual manager got there, and the lady started her BS again about how both me and my fiance should get fired, how we suck, etc., blah. She proudly admitted to hitting me, by the way, which was hilarious. The manager looked at us and back at her and told her to apologize for hitting me and that she should leave. She again mentioned my manager costume and how it's my fault. The manager, in his actual manager outfit, pointed at his badge and the name tag, his specific all-black outfit, and tried to explain to her that all managers are dressed like he was, that we were definitely not managers just because we look nice, and she's assaulting another customer.
"But she deserved it for talking back to me."
The manager had this "I want to run you over with a car" look on his face, and he slowly spoke to her like she was 3, again explaining that we didn't work there. I piped up, asking the manager to politely inform the woman that if she didn't apologize, I would like him to call the police and file for assault. The manager repeated this to the lady, slowly, and the lady screeched and threw a can on the ground, swiped her arm through a bunch of the soup cans, causing them to avalanche to the ground, and briskly waddled out the store. We helped the manager pick up the soups, even though he kept saying sorry and that we didn't have to help him, and he asked if we really wanted to press charges. I said no. There's no point, I just thought it would make her go away. But if he wanted to make a police report, I would be happy to provide my statement. We laughed about my manager costume and got a $30 gift card to use for our groceries. It never ceases to amaze me how Karens never fail to epitomize incompetence. If there was a Karen award, she'd definitely be a frontrunner. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.